Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bulls Central. Gonna do a on-camera discussion with you, mental health discussion, just a discussion. It is Christmas Eve if you celebrate Christmas. And so it seemed like an opportune time. I don't really have anything else going on. I kind of don't have that much going on in general, so it's an opportune time, and it's a way to discuss certain things that maybe are harder to discuss at other times of the year. Just because I don't know how to say this, I feel more vulnerable at this time of the year, and maybe that's just because it's getting cold, or maybe it's just this season where you're supposed to love and forgive and all that stuff. That's what it's kind of about, and tell you the truth, Christmas is a little bit hard for me, and my wife as well, because we never got to start a family like we wanted to. And we had both of us really nice families in a lot of ways growing up, and my mom and my dad always made Christmas really special, and my wife's mom and dad always made Christmas really special. So it's kind of hard that we can't make it special for our own brood, our own family. So we're always a little bit sad, a little bit at Christmas, even though we love the season. We don't have anything against the holiday itself at all. There are some people who actually like actively hate this season because it brings up all these feelings that they don't necessarily know how to process or necessarily know how to like. Or you don't even have to like it. Just accepting that you have this feeling. It's hard for people sometimes. So I guess that's kind of the moral of the story this afternoon, or this morning. It's morning still. It's dark though because it's cloudy, because we're gonna get snow, because it's gonna be a white Christmas for us probably here in Colorado. So anyways, how do we process these things that this time of year makes us feel? It's lousy. It sucks. It's no good. Like, not everybody is miserable at the holidays, but I think the older you get, even if you did manage to build a life that you're happy with in general, the older you get, the more stressful it gets, because you got to buy presents for everybody. Again, only if you celebrate. But even if you don't celebrate, you still have to see people. You know what I mean? You still have to like go to things and do stuff, and if you do celebrate, you do have the gift giving and the tree trimming and all the decorating and all that stuff. um, and I think that all of that, and the eating, yeah, I think that all of that enables us to stuff it all down and not have to process it and not have to deal with it. Sometimes, maybe not all the time. I don't want to make any presumptions. I'm just kind of speaking for myself. And you know what? I'm at this point in my life where I don't want to necessarily do that kind of thing anymore, because I notice that the more that I stuff down all this bad feeling and all these emotions and stuff, the more that it comes out in a way later on that I don't like. Even if I hadn't had a psychosis 7 years ago, I wouldn't like this monster inside that just gobbles all this stuff up and just kind of bleh. You know what I mean? I don't like it. And I'd like not to participate as much as possible. I'd like to be the guy that I want to be, which is generous, warm-spirited, kind. The kind of person you're supposed to be at this time of year anyway. That's who I'd like to be as much as possible year-round. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I want. I want that. I want to I want to be of peace. And it is hard at this time of year, like the feeling of kind of loss and of loneliness. It pervades certain activities. We don't even really watch like classic Christmas time movies anymore. Miracle on 34th Street, or I kind of want to watch It's a Wonderful Life today, in the very least. But I don't know that I'll get around to it. I don't, it doesn't mean what it used to mean to me. And that's okay too. Ultimately, it is just another holiday in a way. I mean, it depends on how deep your beliefs about this season go. It's not a big loss, but it is a bit of a loss, and it's a loss that we couldn't, that I couldn't, we couldn't um, start a family. But also, it's kind of a coming out time, as I alluded to. It's kind of a see your friends and family time. And that is also, by the way, hard, especially, again, if you have mental illness. So we've got all these drivers, we've got all these things that you know what, it maybe even cause us to go off balance, turn into something we don't want to be, just for a few weeks here until New Year's, right? Maybe it causes us to turn to vices and coping skills that are not so skillful. And you know, the best advice anybody ever seems to have is just hunker down. It's over by January 1st, right? But then for some, you've got the credit card debt. And you've got to go back to work. And doesn't that always rip a hole in your chest? I'm sorry, it just does. So, I guess my advice is to come clean to yourself. Try that. Come clean about how you feel, man. Like, you know what? I feel crappy today. I don't want to do Christmas. I don't want to do this. Look at the state of the world. I don't want to celebrate like it's a miracle. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Maybe that's actually what you're craving. Consider that possibility as well. But I think the main thing is to just be honest with yourself about because I think that the unexperienced emotion, the unanalyzed emotion, is the most dangerous kind. The unseen emotion. Again, it's anything that becomes unconscious, and that is actually rather large, like so large that maybe we don't even feel like dealing with it at the time that we feel it. That sort of becomes the benchmark for your unconscious behavior, and you will behave unconsciously at any time. When we drive to a familiar place and we go blank, we're unconscious at that time. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So, but then if you add a trigger on top of it, someone says the wrong thing, someone does the wrong thing, someone looks at you wrong, you have a weird interaction at the grocery store, it can tip you off, and all that subconscious crap comes flying out, right? And again, having experienced psychosis and having had a startling revelation about my own unconscious state, and just how much garbage and junk and frankly pain that there is down in there, and that's just one guy, man. Like, I don't know who you are, and I don't know what your position in life, I don't know how relatively happy you are, but this life, it beats you sometimes. It beats you down sometimes. Don't deny it. Try it. Try denying it. See what it gets you. It's nothing to mess with. So don't. That's my advice. That's my Christmas advice. Don't deny that life is beating you down. Sometimes. Not all the time. I wouldn't even say that for myself. And I've had some hard goes here and there. I wouldn't even say that of myself. I would say that life is glorious, even with the beatdowns, okay? Because the alternative is non-existence in this classical, third-dimensional, realistic sense. Yeah, in this world, the opposite is non-existence. So then you open up a whole discussion about self-harm, and that's really such an awful thing. That's such a shame. And like, I just think that the more realistic that we are about our own limitations, the more realistic we are about what we've actually gone through in this life, the more realistic we are about how it's made us feel, how it's hurt us, how it's changed us. And isn't that kind of a slight loss? Just change, yeah? The more honest we can be about these things, the more that we can uncover these things, the more that we can uncover these things, the more that they have less unconscious or subconscious control of us. That's how it seems to me. All the years of therapy that I've been through. It's all about divulgence. It's all about understanding yourself. Know thyself. Yeah? Know thyself. That's actually a really good slogan for life, is knowing yourself. Because if you know yourself, you also kind of accept yourself. And if you accept yourself, God, doesn't everything hurt like 80% less? Because it's like, it's not about making excuses. It's more like, I am small. I am human. I can't always be this paragon. I can't always be perfect. And nor am I probably supposed to be perfect. If I was perfect, I'd be God. And I don't need that. I got enough responsibilities, right? I think that's the message for this Christmas Eve. Again, if you celebrate. I guess that's all I got to say, man. It's easy for me to lose control sometimes and say and do things that I later regret. I know you can relate. And I just noticed that as this day gets closer and closer, the easier and easier it is for me to take things for granted that I oughtn't. I say this sometimes as well, to count your blessings. That's a good one too. Because you have them. You may not see them, but something as simple as a meal, a shower, a roof over your head, even just for a night or something, that is a blessing. And it's a thing that not everybody gets tonight as we fall asleep with the sugar plum fairies in our heads. And we're gonna wake up and gather under the tree or whatever it is that you do, open presents. Or my family used to go to movies all the time. I miss that. So change is loss, and life is change. Ergo, life is loss. So, but that doesn't mean that honestly, that doesn't mean that isn't even the way it's supposed to be. Consider that possibility. And forgive yourself. Excuse yourself at this time of year. And excuse others. That's kind of more important. Or equally important. Okay. Merry Xmas if you're into that kind of Xmas-y thing. If you're not, Merry Monday in December, the 25th to you. And a merry and excellent every other day, all 365 to you and yours. Peace. See you next month. We do these every 3 weeks or so. In addition to the video games and the music. Seems out of place, but then so does a guy in a red suit with a beard jumping down your chimney. That seems out of place, and we don't contradict that. That's my only point. See you next time. Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor, everybody. This is my newest musical release, Audiophile One. It is remastered, resequenced, remade version of my first album that I put out, I guess about 4 years ago now. I always wanted it to sound a little bit better. I always wanted it to flow a little bit better, so that's what I've done here. You can check this out. Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, even here on YouTube. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I am spent, or spient. Is that the French? No, that sounds more German. A spinta. That's the Italian. Sorry if I just offended people.